You know what is wild? You can have a crystal clear strategy. You can know exactly what to do next. You can come off a coaching call completely lit up with your ideas firing off and your plan locked in, and then sit down to execute it and feel your body just stop. That happened to me this week. I wasn't tired. I wasn't confused. It was like everything had just left my brain. I knew nothing. I could not execute. Like someone had just cut the power to my body. And most of you listening right now have probably actually spent somewhere between a few thousand and tens of thousands of dollars trying to fix that, thinking that there is something really defective with you, when actually you've just never understood what was happening. So maybe you've done the somatic work and the nervous system regulation and the breath work and the EFT and the therapy and the inner child and parts work. And of course, those things would have helped. These are all modalities that I use in what I do with female entrepreneurs to help them actually build their business. But if that problem keeps coming back, different shape, same feeling, new revenue goal, same freeze, new offer, same wall. If that keeps coming back, then you need to listen to this, because today I want to tell you something that the coaching industry, including most somatic coaches, including a lot of the people doing this work, are not telling you. And that is that when this is happening, your body doesn't necessarily need more regulation. Your body is just being loyal to you. It is not you being defective, not able to execute. It is not you just not knowing what to do. And having that distinction that actually what is happening is your body is being loyal. I'm going to explain that in a moment. Knowing that distinction is going to be the difference between spending another year in a healing loop, assuming there is something fundamentally wrong with you that you need to be finding and releasing and actually moving. There is a difference. If you want to be moving, this is what we're going to do. So what we're going to cover today. First of all, I'm going to name the cycle that most of you are stuck in, and I've been there too. And actually, you know what? I am guilty of teaching this as well. I'm not even guilty. I'll explain. Then I'm going to absolutely blow up the industry model that is keeping you there. And yes, I mean the somatic coaching model too. And yes, I use the somatic coaching model. Just wait. And I'm going to show you what is actually happening in your body when you freeze. And then the part that I think is going to really just crack it wide open for you, I'm going to tell you what your nervous system is actually protecting. And it's not what you think. So let's go. Yay, I'm excited. And welcome back to the Fuckcast Frequency, by the way. If you're brand new here, welcome. I am so excited to have this conversation with you. Let me describe a cycle that I see constantly. The women that I work with are brilliant. I want you to hear this though, because I have a feeling that you're going to be a bit like them. You invest in a strategist or a coach, maybe a course, mastermind, maybe it's one-on-one, and you get this incredible clarity. This happens to me on my launch calls. Later, if you're listening, this happens to me on my launch calls. I get this incredible clarity, and then I leave the call. Maybe you leave the call, maybe you finish the module, and I'm so excited to execute. I'm having a real response to it, and I can see what I've got to do, and I can feel the possibility of it. And then I got to do the thing, and something in me just shuts down. Now, this happens for me, particularly at launch periods. It happened to me last week. So I knew exactly what needed to be done. I had a list. I had a delegation list. I had things that I had to do and execute. Now, I like to execute once I've been through an emotional wave, once I have that creativity in me, and I see a deadline and I shut down. I completely shut down. But that's not the only thing that was happening here. And I'm trying to, how much do I tell you right now? Because am I going to just, you know, tell you everything straight away? That wasn't the only thing happening to me. So last week, some of the things that I had to do included rewriting my opt-in page. It included for my free event. It included writing then the email registrations, the nurture registrations based on what we had on the opt-in page. It included starting to get my ad captions ready based on the opt-in page and doing front-end content for waitlist for the Frequency First Business Program. That's what I had to do. And I knew it. And we'd spent weeks working on the messaging and we'd spent weeks refining it all. I did an Instagram post the other day talking about the evolution of Frequency First Business and talked a little bit about this actually. And I knew what I had to do. And then school holidays, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, all right, let's do the post. And all of a sudden my brain's like, oh, you don't even know what you're talking about. Are you sure you're clear on that messaging? Maybe you've got it all wrong. And then I literally didn't do what I was going to do. And then I was like, okay, let's get people on the wait list. Let's send the email. Let's get the post. Are you sure you know what you're talking about? Oh, what is this offer? Like, yeah, my brain just went empty, absolutely empty. And then over the next couple of days, now this might happen to you like that, maybe in procrastination, maybe by trying to make it perfect, maybe by finding another 18 urgent things to do instead. You might start the sales page and then just shut your laptop down. You might launch your offer and then mysteriously just undersell it. The thing is, what unfolded for me over the next few days was the fact that I had a new identity coming to the surface. And the way that I knew that, because I teach ascension symptoms for a living, I help people move through ascension symptoms. I help people shift their identity, their frequency, the thoughts, the emotions, the energy that they are leading with, and the part that is leading their business from a survival part to a more resource part. That is what I do to help the woman leading the business to actually hold what she's building. And then we bring the strategy up into alignment. Now, what I had, and I explained this the other day when I was talking about the identity tax, I have a strategy and a back-end system now that is built for this identity. And I'm bringing that identity up and up and up. Last week, I went into imposter. I went into all of this self-doubt. That survival part of me tried to come forward, tried to take back the reins, tried to tell me other people can do this, but you cannot do this. She tried to do that. And that came out as me not being able to execute. Now, if you have experienced this, you are probably telling yourself over and over again that you are the problem. Now, if I didn't know about any of this work, if I didn't teach this work, if I didn't help people move through this work, then I wouldn't have been able to recognize that. And I would have gone, oh, I need to do more imposter syndrome work. Oh, this thing's come up for me again. Oh, it's that you're not good enough story again, because that's what it is for me. It always comes out as maybe you're not as good as you thought you were. And then I get this sinking feeling, and then here we go again. So, maybe I need to, do more healing on that. No, I don't. And no, I was beautifully regulated, lying on the beach, getting the deepest breaths I had in weeks. I couldn't have been more calm and relaxed in my body, but I still could not fucking execute. Okay. So we're not always necessarily needing more healing work, more regulation, more inner child work, more parts work, more somatic work. We don't necessarily need that every time we hit an edge. And that is coming from someone who integrates all of those modalities into your growth and into your business growth and into your business strategy. Okay? Yes, they help, but it's not always what you need. And then when next time maybe you try to execute the next thing and it happens again, maybe the next hire, the plan, you freeze, you shame, you heal, you repeat. So, if you have been in this industry for any length of time and you have done personal development work alongside your business, which you probably have if you're listening to this podcast, there is a very high chance that this is your cycle. So, I need you to hear me really clearly in this. It is not a discipline problem. It's not laziness. It's not your mindset, but it's also not purely a nervous system problem either. Now, this is where I'm going to say something that may piss some people off. The coaching and the wellness industry's answer to this cycle has always been fix your nervous system first and then build your business. Now, I do agree with that to some extent. I have talked about this before. When we are in our stress response, it is really hard to access. Well, we can't access our creativity, our logical thinking brain. Yes, regulate, absolutely. Regulate, resource, heal, then execute. That model is very well intentioned, but it is also fundamentally broken. Regulate for me is always still first, but this model still treats your nervous system and your business as two separate things. It sequences them differently. Now, why that doesn't work, and I mean structurally, mechanically, biologically, does not work, and why you can do years of beautiful, valid, genuinely helpful somatic work, but then still hit the same wall when it is time to build your business. And stay with me here, because in the next few minutes, I am going to tell you why even the most regulated nervous system in the world will still sabotage that business that doesn't fit the identity that it is protecting. So what no one is saying loudly enough that I have really, really come to realize through my rebirth last year, through what I take people through on this rebirth pathway that I teach in Frequency First Business, is that you cannot regulate your nervous system into readiness for a reality that doesn't exist yet. Say it again. You cannot regulate your nervous system into readiness for a reality that doesn't yet exist. It is not, your nervous system is not a broken machine that needs repairing before it can run your business. You can run your business dysregulated. Some people have a very high stress tolerance. It is a extraordinarily sophisticated real-time threat detection system. It is calibrating constantly, continuously to your actual lived reality. It is not calibrating to your vision board. It's not calibrating to your intentions. It's not calibrating to the revenue goal that you wrote in your journal. It is calibrating to who you are right now, the identity that you are living right now, the beliefs that you are embodying right now. So the version of you that is real and that is present and that is proven, that is what your nervous system is calibrating to. So when you try and execute a strategy that belongs to your next level self, the 500K a year version of you, the CEO version of you, the woman who leads a team and holds a premium offer and is visible in her full expression without apologizing, and then your body shuts down, it's not necessarily dysregulation. That is your nervous system doing its job perfectly, efficiently, brilliantly. It is protecting you from becoming someone it doesn't recognize. And so this is why you can have a completely regulated nervous system genuinely. You can be beautifully resourced. You can be in ventral vagal. You can be the most regulated person in the room and still freeze the moment it's time to execute something that requires you to be a different version of yourself. Because regulation is not the same thing as identity expansion. I'm going to say that again. Regulation is not the same thing as identity expansion. nervous system regulation. It's not the same thing as identity expansion. Regulation gets you calm, tells your sympathetic nervous system, hey, we're good, there's no threat, we're fine. Identity expansion gets you moving. And when the industry tells you to heal your nervous system first and then build your business, what it's actually doing is giving you a beautifully regulated nervous system that is still calibrated to your old identity. You're still calm, you're still stuck. Now, let me just really reiterate, just in case you are new here, I am not anti-somatic work. In fact, if you've ever worked with me, you know that it is the base of so much of what I do. I have training in clinical EFT, clinical hypnotherapy, NLP, nervous system regulation. This is my work. But what I'm saying, particularly from doing this in the lens of growing your business, is that nervous system work done in isolation from identity work, from the actual business model, from the actual execution and the actual strategic moves is incomplete. It's like getting incredibly fit at the gym, but never actually playing the sport. You can be the most regulated, resourced, breathwork practiced woman in the world. But if you haven't expanded the identity that your nervous system is protecting, then you'll keep freezing, procrastinating, whatever you're doing. For like me, it's just that shutdown at the threshold of your next level every single time. Just like I did last week. This next launch requires me to be bold. It requires me to anchor into a new level of income, new level of leadership. I have structured this launch and structured my team for the next level of revenue sell. And now I need to execute as her. So the model that works, the only model that I've seen actually work at this level, is when your nervous system recalibration and your identity expansion and then your strategic execution happen simultaneously. Not sequentially, simultaneously. Not heal, build. Because what you'll find is that you don't. You don't go and bring it into your business. You heal over here and then you try and lead your business from the strategy that was built from the person down at the survival level. So it's not regulate, then execute, but build in a way that recalibrates as you go. Execute in a way that expands your identity in real time. And that is a different model entirely. This is what we do in Frequency First Business. We have 5 phases of our rebirth journey. So let's say we start with phase 1, we claim our safety. It is regulation. It is learning how to support your emotions, as you no doubt have challenges come up throughout this journey. Then it is let's meet the survival identity that has been running your business. We do the necessary healing work to meet that identity, bring forward a more resource part. And as we are doing that, we go, okay, what has the strategic impact of this identity running my business look like through my office, through my visibility, through my sales and marketing, through my back-end processes, through all of the bits and pieces? And then once we have actually done the real embodied change, we've anchored into a more resourced part, we are leading differently, then we go, okay, what actually needs to shift in our strategy now? Because maybe that offer was built as a survival mechanism. Maybe who you were talking to was not the person that your fully expressed self is talking to. So we do the inner work, and then we bring the strategy, we calibrate the strategy, and then we do it again. Phase 2, we claim our voice. Okay, so now in this layer, and we look at it all again. And we then keep bringing our strategy up to our expansion. Because the thing that I haven't told you yet, and this is the part that is either going to really piss you off or completely set you free, what your nervous system is actually protecting is not your safety in this instance. It's your identity. And they are not the same thing, even though the threat of changing your identity feels like death to your nervous system. So let me tell you something about the woman who cannot execute. She is not weak. She is not stupid. She is not any less worthy of having a business than the person next to her. Her body is just extraordinarily loyal. Your nervous system's entire job, its primary, primal, non-negotiable job is to keep you safe by keeping you consistent with the identity it knows how to protect. And the identity it knows how to protect is the one you've been living. The one that got you here, the one that is real and known and familiar. It might be the scrappy one or the over-delivering one or the perfectionist one. The shy one, the one who never charges enough because deep down she's still not sure if she's worth it. The one who does it all herself because she hasn't built the identity of a woman who trusts others with her work. The one who stays slightly invisible because visibility still feels somewhere in her system like a threat. That identity got you to where you are. It is real, valid, it is a hard-earned identity, and it served a purpose. And your nervous system will fight to the death to protect it. Not because it wants to keep you small, because it doesn't know that you are yet safe being bigger. And that is why you can know your strategy perfectly, just like I did last week, and then still not go and execute it. The strategy belongs to the next identity. Your nervous system is protecting the current one. So you will probably find in these instances that the affirmations, they don't work. You can literally walk around, I'm a $1 million CEO, into every mirror in the morning and your body will literally just laugh at you because your body knows what's real. That affirmation doesn't match the identity it's being tasked with protecting. That's why I love EFT so much. This is where the somatic work comes in. Because mindset work alone isn't going to work either. You can think differently and feel exactly the same because the nervous system isn't listening to your thoughts, it's listening to your identity. And depending on what it has attached emotional associations to in terms of threat, sometimes rethinking the same thoughts and triggering that association can actually make it worse, can reaffirm it. So what actually does work? Building the new identity as a lived, embodied, strategic reality. Not just visualizing it, not just affirming it, building it in your body, in your business model, in your daily execution, in the moves that you make simultaneously, so that your nervous system has evidence, real, tangible, lived evidence that that new identity is safe. So the shift here isn't I healed enough to be ready. The shift is I took the move and my body learned that it was safe. And that's a completely different process. This is what frequency first business is all about. Requires a completely different kind of support, and it requires you to stop waiting until you feel ready, because your nervous system will only feel ready for what it already knows. The ladies in frequency first business are moving and being held through that discomfort. They have me there in Slack and on our calls and all of the tools that I have given them to help regulate their nervous system so that they can keep moving forward in the discomfort from the identity that is going to hold their next level, because that is what we're building from in every single phase. Like I said, in our safety phase, in our voice phase, in our authority phase, in our wealth phase, and in our normalizing our standards phase. That is what we're building from. Ready comes after, not before. Your nervous system is not your enemy. You do not need to be fully healed before you can grow your business. Your nervous system is your most devoted protector. The work is not to fight it. The work is to know how to show it something new and support yourself as you do that. And what I know after 18 years of building businesses, after 6 years of doing this somatic and cognitive and energetic and strategic work, what I have watched happen with woman after woman after woman sort of really clicked for me over the last month or so, especially as I'm delivering this version of this program and as I really get deep into what I have just been through. The moment that this woman, you, stop trying to fix yourself and start expanding who you are allowed to be, everything is going to change. The execution unlocks and the revenue moves and the body stops fighting. And not because you're perfectly healed, but because your identity shifted. Now, if you are listening to this and something in you has just gone, oh my gosh, oh shit, she gets it. That's me. You'll know if something has landed. Then I want you to sit with that. That awareness is gold for you. That is you recognizing something that maybe you don't need more healing before you build your business or release your next offer or raise your prices. And maybe you don't need more regulation before you actually execute the strategy. Maybe you don't need to wait until your body actually stops freaking out, but know how to support yourself through that and move anyway. You need a way of building that brings your body along, that as your identity expands and shifts and has a more resource part leading, that your strategy catches up, or vice versa. You need to expand your identity as you go, not separate the strategy from the frequency, because they were never separate to begin with. And remember, as I said earlier, your body has been loyal to a version of you that you have already outgrown. And now the most loving, the most strategic, the most powerful thing that you can do is to start showing it who you're becoming. And not through more healing this time, but through becoming. Okay. There are details on how you can work with me down below. If you're interested in Frequency First Business, then go and check out the waitlist. There is a new cohort being invited in mid-May. Now I will see you over on the next episode. Bye for now. If this episode awoken something in you, good. You are ready to lead from your fuck yes frequency, and you'll find ways to go deeper in the show notes. And before you go, I would be so grateful if you could leave a review and share this episode with someone who you know that is done leading their business from survival and ready to create and live in overflow. See you on the next one.